Yo, what is up? It's that time. It's that moment. It's Righteous with another video. All right. So, this video is going to be obviously on Kanye West and what we think about him as a whole, as a culture, as hip hop fans. I want to see what you guys think. I don't know if you guys have known about what's going on with Kanye. Some of you guys probably have already denounced him, have probably stopped listening to his music. And maybe you don't even want to give him a chance because he's been all over the place for a while now. When it comes to music and Kanye, I haven't really been checking for his music. He's not really on my playlist like that. He has a lot of classics. I used to really bump Kanye back in the days. But there was certain artists that he started to work with that I really liked and that were coming up and they were a little bit newer than Kanye, and I feel like he dampened their style. I didn't know that he was getting his music written for. Um, I don't know if that's said correctly, but basically what I'm trying to say is people were writing his music. Um, but let's go back to what's being said about Kanye right now. He made a song recently saying HH. Um, basically praising one of the worst people to ever walk this earth. And a lot of people did get in trouble for listening to the music on stream and on video. We saw videos like Andrew Tate and some of these guys that are streamers and stuff like that listening to the song. Some guys even doing a salute. Um, and that right there puts you in a certain box. It puts you in a certain group. And, I feel like those guys were paid to do that. I don't see why they would want to do that. Um, they kind of really kicked themselves with that one, but to each their own, right? So now what's happening is that Kanye is basically coming out with an apology. And I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but I'm just trying to speed you up to what was said. So basically, Kanye is saying that he loves Jewish people. He gave an interview to the Wall Street Journal. Says that he loves Jewish people. He says that he's not a Nazi. He's not an anti-Semite, and he loves Jewish people. He says, "I regret and I am deeply mortified by my actions in that state, and I'm committed to the accountability and treatment and meaningful change. Things got worse the longer I ignored the problem. I said and did things I deeply regret." He's mentioned a car accident that happened years ago when he first started his career, or when he first got his launch, I should say. Um, One of his biggest hits was him talking about him being in a car accident and whatnot. But I think he's saying that there was some kind of damage done to his brain, and because of that, he's had bipolar. He's been diagnosed as bipolar. So these are the things that he's been saying. He says, "Some of the people I love the most, and I treated them the worst. You endured fear, confusion, humiliation, and the exhaustion of trying to love someone who was at times unrecognizable. Looking back, I became detached from my true self. I'm sorry." Uh, so it seems like this is like the second or third time that he apologizes for, he's always taking back things. I'm not sure, but it just seems like to me that he's apologized once or twice already with this kind of stuff of saying that he's not really for the Nazis movement, or he's not a Nazi or anything like that. It says here, Ye's apology to the Jewish people is long overdue and doesn't automatically undo his long history of anti-Semitism. The anti-Semitic Hitler song he created, the hundreds of tweets and the swastikas and mirrored Holocaust references are all of the feelings of hurt and betrayal caused. The truest apology would be for him to not engage in anti-Semitic behavior in the future. We wish him well on the road to recovery. Now, there was some time back that maybe like a year ago in LA, he was rounding up people like training them and stuff like that. Or I don't know what. They were all dressed in black. There were times that he was doing interviews with a full mask on. Nobody knew who he was when he was like, what I mean to say is no one knew what state of mind he was in. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't know which Kanye this was. You know what I'm saying? He had the mask on. We didn't know what he was trying to do. You see what I'm saying? And that's not the Kanye I grew up listening to when it came to music and his intelligence, his way to make music and not only talk about gangster rap, just like, pertaining to love and beat making and things like that. Uh, it's crazy, man. It's really crazy to see him turn into this. He changed his name. He was Kanye, and then he turned into Ye. He also had that situation with his mom, where his mom was trying to get something like a procedure done, and all of a sudden, she passes away. So that was really like a heartbreaker for him. It's probably one of the most embarrassing things that's ever happened to him. But for some reason, he continues to look for more things to be embarrassed about. Like, he really has messed up his career with all this stuff. And it's crazy. He's made so much money from the controversy and whatnot, and marrying Kim Kardashian. Now he's got a daughter. His daughter is making music too, and she's on social media. So that's another um thing to worry about when it comes to Kanye. But I think he should just chill out. Just coming from uh my own experience, I've been in a few accidents myself. And if you have ever dealt with concussions or anything that has to do with head trauma, it does mess with you. It does play a role in your everyday life. um, there's a chance that you might develop some form of depression. You might think that you're not the same person anymore. There's a guilt where, you know, obviously you continue to try and, fulfill whatever it is that you were trying to do before the accident. But if you don't feel like you're the same person, you feel guilty for whatever reason, even though you're not the person that was at fault, you still kind of feel like it's your fault. You see, that's my experience from a car accident. You know what I'm saying? Because everything slows down. And if you can't work or if you can't be yourself, then there's a part of you that just don't feel like you should be doing anything. You feel kind of like worthless at sometimes, and things like that. So um it depends though. It depends what kind of accident you've been in, because I've been in some pretty messed up ones where uh basically I want to say that it's not something that you can get over in 1 month. You know what I'm saying? It takes time. And also it takes a real state of mind, like a real strong state of mind to get over that. I overcame it. Thankfully, I did go to therapy and I went to therapy immediately, not just therapy for my body, but also therapy for my mind. And I did still slip and fall after, my, going to therapy and getting advice and whatnot. I know this channel is about sports and stuff like that, but I do like to talk about life and I do like to talk about music. So I feel like I just want to say this to my younger brothers out there. If you ever get into a car accident or if you ever get head trauma, take it seriously. Don't just think that you can just take a pill or drink or I don't know, smoke some weed. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's not always gonna fix everything, and some people I might lose because of that. They might not understand what I'm saying, but you can get a concussion anyway. It doesn't have to necessarily be a car accident. But I'm just saying, take a break from all the things that you were doing before you had a concussion and then actually try to visit who you are as a person and what you need going forward, so like that you can do that for yourself and not just expect everybody else to pick up the pieces for you. Because yes, there's going to be some people there that care about you, but then there's always going to be yourself that you have to deal with. And you have to be willing to tell yourself, okay, this is the new version of me. I'm moving on, and I need to do this, this, and this in order to be what I want to be after all of this has happened. So the reason why I bring this up is that Kanye has been talking about the frontal lobe of his being damaged. He said that he developed some bipolar. Um, I don't know. He's been talking about this for a while, and it sucks because doctors are gonna tell you so many things. You see, we're living in America. A lot of times, doctors, yeah, they're gonna try to look out for you, and there's gonna be some that really, really want the best for you. But at the end of the day, if you have money, they're just gonna do what you say. To be honest with you, I'm not, that's just how I feel. If you have money, they're just gonna do what you say. So that's where I think Kanye went wrong. If he could have just had a little bit more help, um, or if he could have just been able to slow down, then we would have saw a different Kanye. There's no telling um what he could have became if he would have been a little bit stronger when it came to his situation. But he made some incredible albums. Man, College Dropout is a classic. Graduation, one of my favorites. 808 Heartbreaks, amazing, amazing. The production on those albums, amazing. I love the song Power. I love all this, like a majority of his songs with Jay Z. He has so many great songs, and Kanye is definitely someone that hasn't been himself in like the past 10 years. I hate to say it, but it's just the truth. Kanye's, you know, he's a walking legend, but at the end of the day, like, he's gotta turn it around here for the sake of his kids. I know that he's made some sneakers too. People love him for his sneaker inventions and his fashion and whatnot. I respect him for that too. He definitely has a vision. He definitely has a mind for it. You know, um, the one thing I do want to talk about when it comes to Kanye though is going back to his mom. If he would have had his mom, because from what I understood, his mom was a professor. His mom was very intelligent. I watched his documentary that was on Netflix. It came out some years back. It's not really like something that's brand new, but it's his documentary. It's his life. And his mom was literally his best friend. It was crazy. She would finish his sentences. She knew his lyrics. She was there for him. She was at his shows. She was really his best friend. So, let's say, for example, he has this car accident and whatnot, and then his mom is there. She's gonna get him through it. He's used to having her. And whenever all these things would go down, he would have her. So when he lost her, I'm pretty sure that was really what affected him. And some people really don't see that. But all the slurs and the bad things that he's been saying, he should be held accountable for it because at the end of the day, he's still Kanye. He's still a public figure and he should be judged, when it comes to, what he's saying and the people he's hurting and the groups and the religions and whatnot that he's going after. Like he's being pretty specific when he goes out for certain groups. I'm gonna say this uh for people that don't know this. This is just me. You know what I'm saying? But this is my channel, and I'm definitely against anything that has to do with xenophobia or racism. I'm not for that. This is not that kind of channel, and I will never be that kind of person. But yeah, when it comes to Kanye and his music, we miss it, man. I don't know if people are gonna ever want to listen to his music again, how they used to, and enjoy it, because he had like a free spirit to himself. He really did have like a big heart for the culture, and he's connected to some of the most negative things in the culture at times as well too. He did have like a true big cult following, and there are some people that would never give up on Kanye. They will never give up on him. And I understand that. It was the same with like Hulk Hogan and some of these people that have passed away, or they're they're no longer seen as the same. You know what I'm saying? They changed their look, and people don't know them for the same things anymore. So, with that being said, do you believe Kanye? I need to know so we could create some conversations going on in this channel. I really like to converse about hip hop, boxing, basketball, and now Dunk City Dynasty, which will be my next topic. So look out for that video. And thank you for tuning in. Leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. Peace. I'm out.